and welcome back to the world of darkness. We last left off on an interesting note, so let's do our quick little recap and then we shall begin. So, you had your debrief with the prince in regards to the situation with Joshua Carwick, the hybrid, who he was also warmly met with by Miss Armina Cedricson, who was having a spat with the prince. But the more pressing issue at hand proved to be more important information. After a long discussion, you all kind of split up a bit. Diego returned to care for Quincy a bit, while Charlie and Esther went to the home of Armina Cedricson. You got to see her paintings, her abode, some of her servants. You got a bit of a deeper look at her paintings. You rested that night, where some of you experienced disturbing dreams or visions, or maybe a bit of both. You woke up all the next morning, some of you fed, some of you did a few other menial tasks. You found that Charles had been blood bonded by his sire. And after a bit of shenanigans, you returned to Diego's abode, got him out, and you went back to the theatre to check up on Oscar, because you hadn't seen him in a little bit. Also, when you was with Armina Cedricson, she gave you the net location and name of someone who may be able to help you, a fellow Toreador by the name of Vincent Arnett. However, when you went to see Oscar, he seemed to be a bit apprehensive to you kind of speaking to him. He was a bit not in the best place. You then stumbled across a doctor, a Lady Francois, who, it appears, has a bit of a past of some kind with Miss Esther here. And we left off just as she had left you off in one of the stairwells in the theatre, after a brief little post-chat discussion on that. So, you find yourselves in the stairwell, and you're just kind of organising yourselves after that last conversation. What would the party like to do first, if anything particular has struck your mind?
Since Charles is going for the gun, I've already spoken to him about that.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
I'd like to call out to Esther.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to ask, but if you're not busy tomorrow, do you want to come with me? I want to apologize, and I want to take you and Oscar somewhere nice.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. I don't have anything planned, as it were, so I would love to.
Tomorrow night, you can meet me at mine if you want, or here, whatever's convenient.
No, I'll come and meet you at yours. Should I perhaps come by here first and collect Oscar and then bring him to you?
We can come pick him up together.
Okay, that works.
With that, I'll just head off.
Okay. Esther, Charles, do you have anything you intend to do while in the theatre?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get the gun.
Oh yeah. You remember, but as a reminder, the person that Mr. Carter referred you to was the doctor who is currently seeing patients right now, so you'd be unable to speak to her. You might be waiting an amount of time before you can catch her.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
You can either sit around
Right.
and wait or come back another time, really. It's up to you.
I'll probably come back another time because I've got one more thing that I really need to do.
Okay. Diego, just clarification. Are you heading back to your home? I'm assuming that's the case.
I actually want to do a quick stop before I head back.
Okay, we'll come to you in a second. Esther?
Esther will she'll actually just tap Charles on the shoulder for a second.
Yes. I'm sorry. My apologies.
No, it's quite alright. I've been distracted recently anyway. Since Diego's headed off, do you mind if I ask you something?
Certainly. Ask away.
She looks around. Are they somewhat in private, or are there people coming and going?
There appears to be no one here in the stairwell at the moment.
Okay, she'll still like gesture for them to kind of go to somewhere that's a little bit less in the direction of traffic.
There would be a spot underneath the stairwell where you can stand underneath.
Okay, she'll gesture for Charles to follow her.
I do so.
Yep. So, last night there was some topics of conversation that were brought about the difficult ties between you and Lady Armina.
Yes, I don't quite understand it all myself, to be perfectly honest. I'm sorry, that outburst was completely unbecoming.
No, it's quite all right. Trust me. I was actually quite surprised once it was revealed what the nature of your connection was, that she let you say that without repercussions. Although knowing her, she might be planning something as what is the word? The long game or something like that, perhaps.
Charlie's just going to be just putting his hand on over his face, almost like he's got a migraine at the whole idea of this. He just seems to be a little bit distraught, if nothing else.
She pats you on the upper arm, just trying to comfort you a little.
Thank you. I am. This whole situation is completely alien to me, and I'm not going to lie. I just don't understand exactly what's going on. Or, thankfully, the prince has been very forthcoming with information, but I still have a lot to learn.
While my experience amongst others of our kind is limited, if you have questions, then perhaps I might be able to answer some of them to the best of my ability. But for all the questions that you will ask me, I want to ask just one of you in return.
Seems more than an acceptable exchange. What would you ask of me?
She looks at you with a mixture of like genuine curiosity, and her brows just kind of furrow in focus. Lady Armina, when you think of her, is it out of love or fear?
Charlie's going to pause for Charlie's going to pause for a second. He's going to just look down at the floor for a split second. He's going to look straight up. Unfortunately, I fear that both may be applicable.
She hasn't blinked. She hasn't actually broken eye contact with you for the past 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's very strange. I have feelings of longing towards her, but also I am terrified of her. It's like watching a thunderstorm that's coming closer towards you. You know that you may get struck, but it's just so enthralling. You just can't take your eyes away.
She hasn't moved, but you can see that there's something behind her good eye, that seems to be kind of gears whirring in her head. I think I understand. The nature of these kind of connections is different between all who partake of that particular practice. I just want you to know that while I'll never truly understand the connection that you have with her, she seems quite taken with me in the gentlest of ways. And perhaps I could try to help foster a sense of kindness from her towards you.
That would be greatly appreciated, but I understand if this is something that is beyond anything that is possible. I do not expect miracles. She's her own creature, and I know this all too well.
And I know it more than you may realize. I cannot promise anything, but I intend to further strengthen my relationship with her in a much more courtly sense, if that makes sense. But it may have benefits to you as well.
I was going to Charlie's just going to be there stuttering just a little bit. He's not able to calm his emotions quite well. If you do actually if you're able to have some kind of positive influence on her, even so, I do not expect you to go out of your way on my account. It would be unseemly.
I understand that, and trust me, I don't intend on getting myself too tangled up. And as she kind of says that, the words kind of drift away, and she shifts her attention to something that's like maybe over your shoulder, and then her eyes just kind of slowly move up the wall, and she just seems distracted by something for a second.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm. Yes, my apologies. Sorry, I did not mean to keep you for so long. You had plans this evening, no?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I have a little bit of work to do. With recent events, I fear that I hope that I will have a long and prosperous life, but at the same time, I want to make sure that some artifacts ended up in the right places, just in case something untoward was to happen to me.
Oh, absolutely. I should perhaps start brushing up on my more physical skills myself, but I believe I have my own work to do this evening, so I will not keep you. Hopefully I'll see you soon, though.
I hope to see you soon as well. You have been one of the more interesting characters I've met through my few nights here, and hopefully it's fostered into something more than just mutual curiosity. Hopefully we actually count ourselves as friends at this point.
Yes, I think that would be rather nice.
Right, I need to get myself in order. Right, I will see you anon. I need to get some stuff, and he's just going to leave the theatre.
Okay, Esther stands there once Charlie's walked away. She stands perfectly still, and she just watches something that only she can see that's kind of moving across the wall.
Okay, we're going to go to Diego first because he's been patiently waiting. So, Diego, what is it you'd like to do on your way home?
Oh, hello. I'd like to go for a wander towards. I know Damien's cafe, don't I?
You do, yes. He is one of your friends in human life.
I would like to take a wander towards there.
Okay. So, with all the kind of sidetracking you've done, the chit chats, the long talks, excuse me, sorry. You notice that the cafe has been shut. It's shut for a little bit now. It looks like it closed about an hour ago, maybe. You check. I imagine you have a watch on your person or somewhere, so, or at least there's some kind of clock nearby. So you realise it is about 12:30, given how long all these conversations have went and the travel time to get there. The windows have been had their shutters pulled down, so it's really hard to see anything inside. It looks like it's just been a normal day for this cafe. It looks like nothing's on the outside of it or anything like that.
Is it the place I recognize from my dream? Well, nightmare, really.
It is.
Since the place is closed and doesn't seem to be any sign of anything, I'll head back.
Okay, so you're heading home. Okay,
Mhm.
1 second. Yep. You get home uneventfully.
Okay. I'll do a quick check on Quincy and then probably go relax some more.
He's out cold. The cadaver in his room is starting to smell a little bit.
I have that. I should probably clear that out.
But no sign of entry into the flat. It's been mostly tidied up because you probably would have spent some time doing that. But seems to be an uneventful time in your flat.
Go clear the body.
Okay. I'll say you'll spend enough time doing that. You can get rid of it without really any issues hiding it, so you're all good. Okay, let's go to Charlie first, I feel. Let's go to Charlie. What shenanigans are you getting up to?
Right. The first thing Charlie's going to do is he's going to go home. He's going to find his manuscript, which is all of the work and his theories on mental care and how it should be handled in the future. He's going to be very worried that maybe it's a little bit too progressive, but he's going to push those worries to the back of his mind, and he's going to either deliver it to the Institute or he's going to have it sent by recorded mail because he doesn't want his work to be for nothing.
Okay. So sorry, just to clarify, just to make sure, so you're sending a letter to your institute, correct?
No, it's more of an actual manuscript.
Right, okay. What is it you're going to be working on exactly?
It is the entire thing on his philosophy of how to care for people with certain conditions, how madness should not be seen as something that's alien. It should be seen as part of the personality, and they need to work with that, not against it, and all that kind of jazz.
Okay, so you're writing basically a research paper based on your findings.
It's basically his entirety's work. He's pretty much already written it. He kind of did it while he was still alive.
So you're kind of compressing your findings into one major piece.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Are you doing that at your old flat or your new home?
It is something that he has to go back to the old flat to collect.
Mm-hmm.
And although it's only preliminary work, he will be sending it to Ernest to, first of all, make sure it's somewhere safer and also see his personal feelings and thoughts upon it.
Okay. So you head to your humble abode, and you notice there's been a lot of movement. The doors seem to be open. There seems to be a lot of footsteps and work going along. It seems to have been quite hectic coming into your building. You're building a flats recently.
If I can just walk past without anything untoward, I will do so. If anyone needs to ask me questions, I'll answer them. So
sorry,
yeah.
I don't think I was very clear. There's no one currently there, but there has been plenty of sign that there have been a lot of people here recently.
Was I expecting there to be lots of people here recently?
Not that you recall.
I go straight to where my actual research paper would be within my actual drawer. Is it actually still there, or has it gone?
I think there's been a communication error between us. You are
Yeah.
outside the building currently, and you notice.
Oh right, okay, yeah. So so I'm going to be going into the building if I can.
Yep, there's no one blocking the way.
Yep.
As you climb the flights of stairs, you realise that a lot of foot traffic has led into your old flat.
And this is where Charlie's going to be looking for his manuscript to make sure it's actually where it's meant to be. He doesn't care about any of his other belongings. He just wants to make sure that's okay.
Okay, so you're going straight in.
Yeah.
As you open the flat door, you notice that the entirety of its insides has been wiped clean. There is nothing left in this flat.
Okay, now if Charlie could have a panic attack, he'd be having one right about now.
Would you like to make a composure test?
Oh, yes, please. I would love to make a composure check, because this is not what he... No. Let's have a go. One moment.
Composure and resolve.
Composure and resolve. Yay! Stuff I'm great at.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so considering how much composure I've had to roll, so
No modifier.
composure with resolve.
Ooh. You calm your breathing, relax as much as you can, and you're pretty stable. You're a bit anxiety ridden at the moment, but you're at least you're stable. Mentally, that's up for you how stable you would be, but you're not freaking the hell out.
Yeah, if he's not freaking the hell out, this would be turning into a form of anger, but at least he'll be able to concentrate properly. Now, Amina knows where I live, so there's a possibility she's already preemptively started moving out without me asking, because that's a very Amina thing to do. So my first port of call will probably be getting in contact with someone who works for her, see if anyone's been there. If not, I'm going to report this to the Prince or back where the theatre is as soon as possible, because it would seem like someone knows where my haven is.
Okay, so you do have a contact number for Cedricson's at the Cedricson estate, and you do know there is a payphone not too far from your building.
Oh yeah, I'm using that.
Okay. You dial in the number, and after a brief delay of, because you know the number by memory, you were contacting her a lot frequently before you were sired, and you get through to a voice. Hello, this is the Cedricson residence. How may I be of assistance?
Hello, this is Dr. Charlie Morgan. I just wish to ask, has Lady Amina seen fit to move my possessions from my old apartment to my new property, or is this a bit presumptuous on my part?
I can check the records, sir. I'm not unaware of such things happening, but I can have a look if you give me one moment.
Certainly.
The phone goes quiet for a moment, but he eventually returns. Ah, yes, it appears that an escort of our finest workers was sent out to collect your inventory and place them into your new abode.
There is a sigh of relief from Charlie, but it's also tempered with, she's been in my home. So, yes, I know this is great news. Thank you very much. There wouldn't happen to be any notes on a large pile of documents that were in the desk that I had there. Is that all safe and secure, or?
I'm afraid that the workers have not returned from their excursions, so I have no further updates from you. If you want an update, I would recommend checking the new home itself, or calling back within the next half hour to an hour, and hopefully the workers have returned.
Thank you very much for your assistance. I will make my way over there as soon as I am able.
Okay, not to worry, sir. Is there anything else that I can be of help with today?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Marvellous. Hope you enjoy your evening, sir.
So do I. And I'm going to put the hook down, and I'm going to get there as fast as I can actually go, whether this involves hiring a taxi, whether this is on foot. I don't care. I want to get there as soon as possible.
I would say taxi. What I'm going to do is we're going to go to Esther for a little bit because she's been waiting patiently, and then we'll come back to you to finish this off. Is that all right?
That's absolutely fine.
Not to worry. Esther.
Yes.
time's jumping out a bit, but you, I imagine, Charlie just left you from the staircase in the theatre, and you are currently on your lonesome.
Okay, what time in the evening is it?
Prospectively speaking, it's probably about 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Probably, certainly 11 o'clock.
She will probably go to something like a nice music club or something like that in not one of the super posh areas in town, but somewhere that would be, nice, and she can just kind of enjoy the atmosphere there. Then she might actually have a somewhat earlier evening, as it were. So after that, she'll probably then head back to her apartment again, zigzagging her way through the side streets.
Okay.
And looking forward to moving into a much more secure neighborhood in the future. But yeah, once she's there, she'll write some letters to some old friends in the art community in Paris, just to let them know that she's doing well, and then she'll start sketching out ideas for Lady Armina's portrait that
Okay.
she said that she was going to do for her.
Okay then. 1 second. So you're going to the club. Are you like trying to interact with people? Or are you just going to be like being a wallflower? What's the intention inside the club?
She's mostly just going to be a wallflower. She just wants to listen to some good live music for a bit.
Okay. 1 second. Are you using any of your vampiric powers while you're there?
She might actually have Sense the Unseen going, but she'll just be like leaning against a wall, just like listening to the music, but just have Sense the Unseen just to see if she can pick up anything strange, potentially anyone following her.
Okay. One momento. I just want to
If there's certain signatures that keep popping up or certain essences that keep lingering wherever she goes.
I just want to check the wording of something, please. If you just give me a moment.
Yep, absolutely. No worries.
Excuse me. Can you do me a favour, and can you make me a wits and aspects roll for me, please?
Sure thing, can do. Why isn't it coming up? I'm not sure I did that. I don't think it needs a rouse check to do that.
No, I wanted to. I'm using aspects to do a perception check, effectively.
Okay. It didn't seem to roll correctly because
Let me have a gander. I know you can use this as a dice roll, so let me just. I might end up accidentally rolling it for you, so let's see.
It's alright.
Okay, so if I just test roll this, so you should have wits 2 and your aspects is 2, so you should get 4 dice out of this.
Yes.
So if I click submit, mine rolled. Did you click the so if I wits and discipline, cool. Did you click the dice roller on the far right of the aspect side?
I believe I did the one that was beside Power 1.
No, you
so
want
that might be
you
one.
want to do it on the one on the right, because then it also adds your wits and your discipline. So try that again.
Ah, okay.
No modifier.
Yes, this is being a little bit slow for me. I'm not sure why.
That's fine. We'll give it.
Come on.
Give it a second.
Come on.
There we go. That's working.
There we are.
Okay. 2 passes. No ones across there. Cool.
Every time you laugh like that, it makes me nervous.
I'm glad.
Oh.
You find yourself
Okay.
sitting in one of the local jazz clubs. It's got a live performing band, but they're not too prevalently loud. It's very calm and relaxing atmosphere. You find yourselves in one of the tables along one of the left side of the walls, not in the corner because they've all been taken, but it's one of those. It's a bench. It's like a bench style, too comfy sofa with that would fit basically four people, or two aside, across side a middle table kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Are you nursing a drink, just pretending to soak in the atmosphere? Are you?
She'll just be enjoying a cigarette.
Okay.
To the best of her non-breathing abilities. Just the force of habit coming in to help her kind of like fit in with the crowd.
Okay. You sit amongst the desk, and all of a sudden, even you couldn't detect the presence. You hear a voice coming directly from behind you. I would recommend not making any sudden or loud movements.
She just takes another drag of the cigarette and just doesn't say anything.
I know you can hear me. It's quite rude to not respond.
Is it a voice I'm familiar with?
No, it's not.
Is it a male, masculine, or female voice?
Masculine.
I'm sure there are lovely birds around this particular bird feeder that are much more deserving of your attention. I just want to be left alone this evening.
Yes, but those particular free birds are not under the work of the prince now, are they?
I'm not sure who is this prince you speak of. I have no connections to the royal family here.
I am very much aware that you know who Dominic Astral is.
She just takes another drag of the cigarette because she's in a public space. She's keeping her resolve, but she'll slightly tilt her head to see if she can get a glimpse of who this is out of her peripheral.
As you try to turn your peripheral, you notice he is sat very much directly behind you, so it's in your blind spot as much as possible.
Okay.
So, are you going to continue lying to me, or can we have a normal conversation?
It depends. Is this a meeting in which it ends uncomfortably, or do you want me to just pass along a message?
I'm more of sating my curiosity right now. Is that too much to ask?
It depends. What is your relationship to him?
On shaky grounds is probably the most polite way of discussing such things.
And what is it that you would like to speak about, sir?
I would really like to know what our dear prince knows about me currently. I would like... You probably haven't heard my voice yet, but my name is Abraham.
Well, enchanté, Abraham. I must confess I'm new to town. He has not spoken about you. To me, at least.
I find that difficult to believe, given we had a small interaction not too long ago.
She thinks back. Is this potentially one of the individuals that was seen on the bridge as they were shadowing Oscar?
That would be the case.
She just taps out the ash of her cigarette. I believe we may have caught a glance at one another, but I don't believe we've spoken.
No, I was more focused on the driver at the time. Mr. Hyde, I believe his name goes by.
I have to ask, did you intend to stop us, or did you just want to take a look at the new company in town?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It is interesting to see what path the new side take when they finally enter our lovely little world we have going on here.
And this path that some of the newcomers are on, does it meet your approval? Or do you have objections?
I would say that your current path is tragically not exactly conducive to my current plans. However, things could obviously change at a simple notice, I imagine.
That's the fun thing about our world, as it were. It's constantly fluid, but there are certain pillars that just seem the same, no matter what decade.
I have lived a great many decades to know that is not as true as you would like to think. All things change in time.
I imagine then you see yourself as one of these changes?
I would like to bring about a great many changes. Whether you two are to bear fruit in the new changes I wish to see, well, that entirely depends on your actions.
I wish to make one thing perfectly clear. I only want to understand those of my own blood. I prefer my independence over choosing any particular faction.
A wild card, I see. I suppose there is a possibility that has its usefulness. But you never really answered my question. What does the prince know about me currently?
Sir, you know I cannot answer that if I do not know who you are, if he has not spoken of you to me.
So you didn't bring up our little interaction?
Well, I cannot see who you are, can I? And this is the first time we've spoken. There is a slight smile in her voice when she says that. She's not mocking, but she's just stating a gentle point.
I suppose you are correct in that matter. I suppose you're not as much as a threat to my plans, as it were. Although, may I make at least one recommendation before you leave?
It's a mostly free country.
Please don't kill any more of my particular favoured subjects. They are precious. Although Mr. Carwick was a tragic failed test, I'd rather not see another one of them go. That is all I have to say about that. You can tell that he is currently trying to starting to stand up.
Okay, she doesn't make a gesture of turning and looking. She'll just stay where she is. She'll take another drag of her cigarette and she'll wait to hear a movement that he's started to move away. Then she'll make a gesture like she's going to reach for her lighter and try and catch a glance at him just in her peripheral.
Okay. He leaves without saying another word. As you turn to take a smoke, you only can catch a brief glimpse of him. He is mostly covered up. He's wearing a face scarf and the large rimmed hat, a black coat, and he's mostly covered up. But you do catch the paleness of his face, but you can't really get an exact facial structure from where you're sat.
Okay. That changes her plans for the evening then. She will spend another, say, 20 minutes or so in the club. She won't go rushing out straight away, but after about 20 minutes, she will discreetly leave, and then she will go back to the theatre.
Okay. We'll go to Charles then, if that's all right. We can keep him waiting.
Fine.
Charles, you find yourself outside the slightly deterred manor. It's quite a nice looking thing. It's a bit run down. It's not been looked after for a while, but at least it's aesthetically pleasing to the outside.
Well, at least this is something I can work with, as he actually just kind of mutters it under his breath, and he walks in through the front door.
You walk up to the front door, you notice it's left slightly ajar.
I could have at least locked it. I enter through, and I will now spend the next probably 20 to next however long it takes trying to find the desk and my manuscript of my life's work.
Okay. As you walk through the door, you see that the candles have been lit, and there's a bunch of boxes out directly as you start opening the door.
Okay, I will frantically go through the boxes one at a time. Actually, no, I will. I'll try and find my desk first.
Okay.
If I can find my desk and it's not in there, I will then start frantically looking through the boxes.
Do you close the door behind you?
Yes.
Okay. As the door closes behind you and you spin round to face the boxes, you suddenly feel a swift motion as you are then grabbed by the throat and pinned against the door. You look.
Okay.
You look down as you've been raised off the ground as you see Armina Cedricson in front of you. We need to talk.
Of course. Do you mind not, no, just go.
She just lets go and drops you to the floor.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome to
Shut
my
up.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't. I hope you understand why I'm here today.
And he just got like this look like a puppy who's just been had his nose rubbed in it.
Okay.
He just doesn't know what on earth is going on.
She, with a mighty swing, kicks you in the jaw. You take a point of superficial damage.
Okay, I'll mark that on my character sheet.
You embarrassed not only yourself, but me in front of a guest. And your pointless grovelling in front of the prince was absolutely disgusting.
He's not gonna say anything until he's instructed to.
You may speak.
I have no idea how I'm meant to behave, how all of this is meant to be how all this works. I'm sorry, I did not mean to be disrespectful or cause any kind of
I don't think you
faux pas.
I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation. I chose you because I saw great potential in you to help bolster the numbers of the Toreador clan. And if you're not going to wear that mantle with the respect it deserves, I'm going to have to do something about you.
I know nothing about the Toreador. The only one I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with is you.
And have you not learned anything from us? You hold yourself up. You hold yourself strong. This cowardice grovelling on the floor, that is unbecoming of one of my kindred.
I'm trying to be better. I really am.
She basically grabs you by the collar of your shirt and pulls you to your feet. Okay, I'm going to say this one last time to you before I start getting very upset. You do something about your lack of confidence in the way you present yourself, or I swear to God you will end up in the crypt with the rest of them. Do you understand?
I understand. I will endeavour to make myself more palatable.
Good. She just kind of throws you to the wall, not hard enough to deal any damage, but enough to just to stunt you against it. She pulls out from her a bag of rattle of keys and throws it on the floor in front of you. Sort this place out as a tip. She just walks out the door and slams it behind her.
Charlie at this point is literally crying blood.
Mm-hmm.
He is distraught. He is in all kinds of things. In fact, do you want me to roll another Constitution check?
No, I think it's very clear that you're in a panicked state.
Yeah. He's completely forgotten about his life's work, and he's literally just going to he's going to find somewhere to just be alone that's dark, that's not going to have any sunlight there, and he is just going to be contemplating what's been said, and he's just going to be like there for the entire night. He's in a state right now. He just cannot function right this very second.
Okay. We will go. If you're going to be like that, do you think you'll recover at all?
If I'm going to be like that,
do you think you're going to recover at all during the evening to do anything else, or are you just going to waste the night away effectively in a panic state?
It might take him like an hour or two to calm himself down. But if he is able to get his composure back, he will try and find his manuscript at the very least.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say you spend the night digging through these boxes, unpacking, getting stuff put away. You will find your manuscript within the night, but it's probably be a bit too late to get it sent off if you don't do anything to it.
Yeah, early tomorrow night is going to be the first thing he does.
Okay, we'll do that. So we will go to Esther then, because you're returning to the theatre. Esther?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Esther will be cautious. She'll ask the driver to take the scenic route back to the theatre. She will pay accordingly, but just kind of keep her peripheral open and have unseen presence. Sorry, not unseen presence. Sorry, sense the unseen up as well in case she is being followed.
Okay. I'm going to assume it's the same roll from before, and you don't detect anything. You make it back to the theatre. It is probably the amount of dilly-dallying you would have done to kind of avoid being here as direct as possible. I want to say 2:00 in the evening.
Okay, she will get out and then she will head on inside. Okay.
It is a little bit bustling at the moment. It appears to be an open night. There are a couple. It's not vastly busy. You probably guess around an estimate of around 30 patrons at most, and there's a decent number of staff on. Quick eye around, you'd say you can see about 9 members of staff.
Okay. She will go up to someone that she's familiar with, and she'll ask if Mr. Astral is available. She has urgent news to bring to him.
Okay. You dive around the room, and you do find a bartender that you have spoken to in the past, but haven't quite gotten their name. He refers to you that Mr. Astral is in his office. If it is significantly urgent, I'm sure he won't mind discussing matters with you, as he seems to be familiar with what the work you do with him.
Okay, good. She will, in that case, head over. Not a rush, because she's aware that there are actual patrons tonight. So she'll just move with purpose, like she kind of works here and she knows her way around.
Yeah. You dive and weave. You duck and weave between the patrons, and you make it to the staff door. You start climbing up the stairs. You notice that you've never actually been to his office before, but the floor plan's pretty well laid out. All the corridors are labeled, and you realise that Mr. Astral's office is on the top floor.
We went in his office before in the previous game when we walked in covered in blood, or was that a different room?
That was in the front room. You was literally
Okay.
in the front, but there was no one there at the time.
Okay, I was curious about that.
Sorry.
She heads up, and then once she's directed at his office, she will knock on the door.
Okay. As you knock on the door, a kindred that you haven't seen before opens the door in front of you. She is not particularly tall, 5'5" in front of you, well dressed in a suit and tie, green eyes, short but well kept brunette hair, and she seems at least pleasant. It's like, may I help you, madam?
Yes, I must speak with Mr. Estral. I bring important information.
She looks you up and down and goes, you're one of the... One moment, please, if that's okay.
She nods and waits.
She closes the door. You can't really hear anything inside, but after about 2 minutes delay, she comes back out. Mr. Estral will see you. Do we realise this is his office? You are to show respect at all times. You are to approach when he instructs you to, and you are to not go within the close distance of him. Understand?
I understand. I'm familiar with him.
She opens the door, and inside there's this large, magnificent office. Marbled floors, the wall is just covered in what appear to be family paintings. There is decorations of jewelry, miniature statues, artifacts that look like they've been from foreign nations, kind of sprued around in display cases. A large window that you can see at the top, has a large metal plate that's been raised, so it that comes up and down. You see a large, mahogany desk in front of you with a bare rug in the middle of the floor, and you see Estral kind of laid back in a reclining chair. Esther, do come in.
She enters the room and stands a few feet away from his desk. She doesn't take a seat unless offered.
He just looks you up and down. Weren't you here not too long ago?
Yes, and I thought I would not have to return here for quite some time. I went out to one of the local watering holes, as it were, for some light entertainment. An old acquaintance of yours decided to speak with me.
I have many acquaintances. You'd have to specify.
Especially ominous, a little sinister, by the name of Abraham.
He raises his eyebrow and offers you to take a seat in front of his desk.
She takes a seat.
He just looks like he's trying to compose himself before he continues speaking. What did you discuss with Abraham?
He seemed rather interested in hearing what you had said about him.
Well, we know he's alive, we know he's not dormant or in torpor, and we know he's in London currently. That's literally all we know. Did you find anything of relevance?
He asked me, and I believe by extension my companions, not to kill any more of sorry, Scarlet, correct me. It was what did he clarify them as, his friends or his associates or his creations?
His subjects, I believe the word I used.
His subjects, thank you. He rather politely asked us not to kill any more of his subjects, referring to last night's mess that we tidied up.
It's typical that he would be involved in such Well, the way I see it, we have it looks like he's struggling to focus. Look, did he do anything to you? Did you feel anything going on when he was there?
No, we were seated back to back at a nightclub. He seemed insistent that I not turn and look at him, but other than that, he seemed more interested in conversation and wanting to hear my opinion. I've made it perfectly honest that would prefer to keep my independence, but as we had not discussed him in detail and we only saw a glimpse of him in passing, I could honestly say to him that I had no opinions of him one way or the other, as you yourself had not spoken of him. And as a newcomer to town, only the word of others is what I have about the pillars of this community.
Probably the best answer you could have given him, really. I feel like if you gave any kind of favouring or disfavouring opinions of certain things, you might not be standing here right now.
I believe so, but it is a rather bold move for a kindred to kill not only someone who's done projects for yourself, but also an entire nightclub full of mortals.
I don't think, respectfully speaking, with the amount of needless violence that Mr. Abraham has caused in the past, that I don't think that a break of a masquerade would have stopped him.
I'll keep that in mind in the future. I think I got lucky with this evening, but I may not be as lucky again in the future.
So he just looks at you and goes, I didn't feel like this would be information that you needed so soon, but I feel like there's a bit of education that must be done right now, especially as you seem to be more in-depth involved. So,
if you would prefer to think of this over time, then perhaps one evening when my associates and I are all here to listen to it?
Respectfully, I think I trust you the most out of your companions right now.
She raises an eyebrow at that. With all due respect, Your Majesty, you are aware that I'm a Malkavian, and we are not exactly earn points for favoritism amongst the Camarilla.
I understand that, but one of them disrespected me directly to my face, and the other one is a whimpering mess. You at least seem to have some boldness about you. Just because you're Malkavian doesn't mean I have ill will to you.
And that is greatly appreciated.
Anyway, compared to other Malkavians, you are very much, at least externally wise, at least well suited to the nightlife, it seems. So, I think I would trust you with at least a little bit more information than your associates currently.
I've become well practiced in maintaining my composure.
I can see. So, I told you about the Camarilla, no?
Yes, in part.
Well, we're not exactly the only organisation within the realm of the night. There is a secondary group that's at least had its presence, but has been slowly building itself back up in recent times. They go by the name of the Sabbat. Normally, a lot of the clans that heralded under them were annihilated in one bloody conflict or another, but unfortunately the power of suggestion, ideas, and other potential misnomers can lead to them being at least a very powerful group in theory. some of my fellow clan members have decided to slowly start resurrecting the Sabbat. I don't know how many of them are organized. I don't even know I can't tell you how many of them even hold the banner at this point. But I believe Abraham is one of the founders of the Sabbat movement within England right now. They wish to destroy the world we had created and dissolve the Masquerade, which is not something we can do. If the Masquerade was destroyed, we would be exposed and would be hunted down like animals. And granted, we are incredibly powerful, but enough mortals with the shockingly more powerful weapons they seem to be developing over time does put some concern in their ability to fight us back. There are many more of them than there are of us. It's weird that Nosferatu would join the Sabbat, because normally they are quite well kept, all things considered. But Abraham and I have always had significant disagreements. Unfortunately, there is a deeper investment, as Sabbat, as this particular vampire, was my sheriff before Mr. Carter was.
I see.
And that, I will admit, is a significant misjudgment on my part. One that I do not wish to repeat. Abraham is very knowledgeable and very powerful. If you can, I would sincerely advise that should he ever approach you again, you do your damnedest to not let him manipulate you. Because you will not be the same person afterwards if he does it.
She doesn't say anything, but this kind of sad smile comes across her face. I'll keep that in mind. My head is already full enough as it is.
I understand. I know, as a Malkavian, you tend to have your own issues, and then realizing that you're in this deep already is probably not conducive to your mental faculties.
If I may ask, Mr. Astral, what made him shift from being your sheriff to a figurehead of the Sabbat in London?
There was an incident. Without going into too much specific detail, the Camarilla was under distress at the time due to one of the active clan leaders causing a significant amount of distress and was risking the Masquerade. It was decided amongst the council that they were to be executed. Abraham was one of 3 detractors saying that we shouldn't do it, and after negotiations went on, it was clear that we were not going to falter and we were the majority. After it was done, he did not take too kindly for it. He became distant, and after some time, it is what led to the revolt and the current dissolution of the Camarilla in London as we speak. He was part of that rebellion that happened.
I understand.
We've been working to rebuild the Camarilla and appoint new heads of the clans, but obviously there has been a lot of discord, which is why I have you trying to prove our strength. And honestly, the death of Joshua has actually proven great in negotiations with a couple of the clan leaders. But it's a slow process. And if Abraham makes another move, I don't know if we can recover from it. So right now, I just need you to make sure you're staying alive and continue doing what you're doing. Understand?
Don't worry, I will do my best to stay alive. And she kind of smiles at that.
Good. Is there anything else you need to tell me?
Not that I can think of, no. I just wanted to bring this to your attention.
He looks around and just thinks for a moment. I know you've been through a lot, and with Abraham on the prowl tonight, if you wish to use one of the safe rooms in the theatre instead of going back to your abode, you're more than welcome to.
I would actually greatly appreciate that. I'm becoming less comfortable in my current living situation. I am planning on moving to a much more secure neighborhood soon.
I understand that. If I suppose if you require anything from your haven, I could always send Mr. Carter out to collect things for you.
That would be appreciated. I think actually there should be a bag that's already still packed. If he could collect that and my... Do you allow pets just for one evening?
I will make an exception, given the situation and the information you've brought to me.
She nods. If he could, there should be a bag that's on the mattress in the corner of the room that should have everything that I require, and bring my dog as well.
Not to worry. The safe rooms are located in the underground floor. Just feel free. He reaches under his desk and hands you a key. It's a master key. It will open any of them. Just pick whichever one you feel comfortable in.
Most appreciated. So, and she takes the key. And with that, I will leave you to continue your work. You're very busy, and thank you for this. She gestures to the key.
He nods to you and says, "And thank you. This is concerning but important, so do take care."
She nods, and she'll go down to pick out a room and just kind of make a gesture of like leaving that door open. So when Mr. Carter comes back, you can leave Damien and her bag there. And are there patrons like still milling around at the theatre?
There are, yes.
Okay, once they've all cleared out, she'll maybe go behind the bar and grab a bottle of something and then retire to her room for the evening.
Okay. I want to go to Diego for a hot minute.
Yep.
And then we'll do that. Okay. So, Diego, you there?
Mhm.
Sorry, it took a while to get back to you.
That's alright.
Okay. You get home after taking your detour to the cafe. Were you driving?
Staccato was at my place because
Yes, you're right. You got a lift.
Talon.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you like sprinting, running, or were you just taking like a slow, methodical walk?
Probably methodical walk.
Okay, I'd say
Casual stroll.
I'd say with the amount of detours and running about you've had to have done, probably about 4 o'clock before you managed to get home.
Mhm.
You come in. Oh wait, no, sorry, you were already home. Sorry. Yes, sorry.
That's alright.
It's been so while since I've been to here, so I lost track of things. Sorry. It's 4 o'clock by the time you get home. You've done your tidying up, and you've just kind of been relaxing. And then you hear a bit of a groan coming from your room.
My room?
Yeah. Well, Quincy's room. Sorry, I forgot you moved him into his own room.
Yeah, that's alright. I'll check on him.
You
Like open door. It's like, is he okay?
You look at him over. He seems to have had most of his legs fully grown back. His feet have come through. He's looking a bit rough for wear, but he looks like he's like 99% healed up. He's just going through that last strain. It's like, hey Diego,
You alright?
a bit rough when the bones grow back. It's been a rough couple hours.
Do you need anything?
I'm good. I'm good. Just... Oh, it would be nice to walk again, you know?
I can get that. Do you want to get changed? I didn't get a chance to give you your stuff.
You know what? I've been wearing this same shirt for like 6 days now. I'd appreciate that.
I'll go get his stuff and give it to him.
He looks at you and goes, I hate for this to sound weird, but I'm going to need you to hold me up while I get changed.
That's fine.
You see him get stripped down and pull his clothes off. I imagine you help him at least a little bit. And he swaps into just kind of a casual wear, some casual slacks, and not a very well kept shirt, but it's like a comfy home shirt. And you put him back down on the bed. It's been a while since you. Remember that time you accidentally walked in on me when I was changing when we were human?
That was amusing.
Threw my underwear at you because I thought it would stop you looking.
You didn't.
It was
determination.
Look, I get embarrassed easily, but I can't really be embarrassed when I'm basically almost dead. What does it matter, I guess? Look.
You're allowed to feel emotions. Just because you're dead doesn't mean you don't have.
I wish because I was dead I didn't have them. I never got a chance to say properly thank you. You've done a lot. You've done a lot for me, and I don't know. And I caused this problem, so I don't know how I'd be paying you back for this. You know what? When I get working, I'll pay this month's rent all myself.
I'm not gonna put you through that stress.
It's fine.
Pay it together like always.
I've got a few good gigs that'll pay me a decent amount before the end of the night.
Keep it.
Well, that's rude.
You've been through enough stress already. We both have, but I'm not gonna force you to pay it all.
He just... Thank you. Look, I know we don't eat anymore. I'll make sure to get you... And he just pulls up his fingers. Dinner. My treat. Okay? I'll get us something good.
Your word on that.
Yeah, just give me like a week so I can walk again, you know? Also, Alice, you're breathing into your mic pretty bad. Sorry.
Mike's been a little bit funny though.
Okay. He looks at you and goes, look, it's getting early, I guess. Why don't you get some rest? It's been a long night.
You too.
I make no promises.
Well, if you need anything, just call.
Oh well. Thank you, Diego. Okay, and I'm guessing
Friends are full.
I'm guessing you're just going to head into your room and just kind of sprawl out and lie down. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Cool. Charles was pretty much occupied with his manifest and then going to sleep. So
Yep.
we'll just pop back to Esther real quick as the last thing, and then we'll go into the next day. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. So, Esther, after about an hour, maybe an hour, after about an hour and a half, there's not really, I don't know if you have a timepiece on you, but there's no clock in this room, so you're not really sure on the perceptive time right now.
Yeah, time isn't really a thing that she worries about a
Yeah.
great deal.
Okay. But eventually you said you left the door open, did you?
Yeah, she would have left the door open. She'd probably actually just be lying there, maybe watching like something kind of moving across the wall. Not quite going full yellow wallpaper yet, but just kind of having a lot to think about and
Okay.
trying to distract herself.
Okay. After a little bit of time though, you hear a knock coming from your doorway.
She'll go over and see who it is.
Am I okay to enter, Miss Desmararis? You recognise it as Mr. Carter's voice.
She opens the door for him.
Evening, madam.
Bonsoir. Thank you.
Not to worry. He turns around and he gently pulls Damien on his lead. He seems to be a bit subdued, but he seems a bit tired. It's been late, and he just kind of like nonchalantly nuzzles against your leg. It's like, and he pulls in the suitcase. Where would you like me to place this, madam?
In the corner's just fine, thank you.
He places it down and then takes the lead off Damien and hands it to you. I believe this one's yours.
Yes, thank you. I probably will just stay in the room for the rest of my night. I don't want to be a bother.
It's not an issue. My errands for this evening are at least completed. If there is anything you need whatsoever, do let us know. You do have full reign to move around the theatre. Just, look after yourself.
She nods and keeps that in mind, and then she bids him good night.
Good night, madam. And he closes the door behind him.
She'll probably just make sure that Damien's like happy. She'll pull him up on the bed so that he feels more comfy and he can sleep at the end of the bed. She'll get into a change of more like evening wear, like the long blue dressing gown and everything. And then she'll maybe try and get some sleep when it gets into the early hours of the morning. But if they said that she's allowed to wander around the theatre, then she might actually go for a bit of a wander during the early hours of the morning, when just avoiding any windows or anything like that, but just kind of wander around a beautiful empty theatre.
Okay. The theatre has a series of metal plates that can be pulled down in front of the curtain, in front of the windows, so there's no risk of any natural sunlight coming in. So if you want to kind of like breeze around while no one's here, effectively, you have full freedom to do that.
Yeah, she just wanders around in her like 1920s night dress with the dressing gown over it. And if Damien's just happy kind of sleeping in the safe room, she'll just wander around the theatre, maybe with that bottle of refreshment in her side, just taking a swig every so often. She won't go snooping into anywhere private because this is still the prince's place, but she'll just enjoy the atmosphere and just try and distract herself from what she's been seeing recently.
It's an unusual atmosphere. You're so used to seeing this place filled with people, just buzzing with activity, whether it's because the nightlife's on or because there is work going on. Just to see it completely dead, it's got this very eerie sensation. There's no wind. There's no like real external noises except maybe like maybe like a fire. One of the fireplaces is currently active, but that just hasn't been put out yet. It's just very silent, very alien to what you're used to. Excuse me.
It's all right. She will probably walk over even to like the stage and just kind of like sit her butt down like on the stage, looking out over all the seats. Just sit cross-legged with the bottle of drink beside her, take out a sketchbook and start sketching ideas for the portrait that she's going to be working on, but just kind of just enjoy being in a different sort of space, but then having lots of empty space around her so that she's kind of more, she can focus just on that and also be aware of her surroundings, not feel crowded by anyone. 'Cause that hasn't happened in a while.
Okay, you're able to get a decent amount of work done, but you can tell as the morning starts becoming more prevalent, it's becoming much more difficult for you to maintain like focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's all right. If she starts to feel genuinely fatigued because she's had a pretty rough couple of nights, she will then head into the safe room. Leave. No, she'll take the bottle with her into the safe room and then lock it behind her.
Okay. Do you want to get some sleep now then?
She will get some sleep, even though her dreams have not been good.
Okay. 1 second. I need to check a note.
Oh, no.
Could everyone roll a composure and willpower test for me, please? Pretty please.
One moment. Composure and willpower.
That is what I said.
Brilliant. So, cancel.
So sorry, do we do willpower and then change the input value to what we have for composure?
Sorry, let me just... I'm not doing much rolling because I do it by hand, so...
That's okay.
Sorry, composure and resolve, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I was playing a different system the other day and I forgot
No,
some
it's okay.
stats mixed up in my head. Sorry, composure and resolve, sorry, my mistake.
But why though? I've got 6 dice.
Well, then let's see if you can roll them.
But no. You can see the results. It makes me sad.
Oh no.
Why?
We're going to go through this one at a time. Let's start with Diego first. Diego, your dream is... it's unusual to describe. You find yourself in a dark room. You want to say it looks a lot like your flat. It's eerie. It's been well kept, but it's also... it looks like like the main room, your room. It's all very tidy. It's daylight outside. The sun's beating down on you, but you're not affected by it. But as you explore the dream state of your flat, you know it's completely empty. No one is here. Quincy's room is in a state. Most of his clothes are missing, and there is naught but a simple note on the table saying he had to go and he was sorry. And you just find yourself trapped in this dream, unable to break free from it. And you're just kind of stuck in this room. You can't leave, the doors are locked. You can't you try to shout, but it seems like your voice can't come out. And it's like that for what appears to be a near unbearably long amount of time before you wake up in the morning. Okay.
Cry.
We'll go to Talon next.
Oh joy.
Charles.
Here we go.
1 second, I just need to bring up a document that I have saved. Charles.
Yep.
You find yourself in what appears to be your new home. It is surprisingly, it's been unpacked, it looks tidy, it's been furnished, it looks like the damaged wood has been replaced, the outside's been gardened, it's a dark night in your dream. You explore it, and your books have been beautifully arranged in chronological order in terms of your academic work. You notice on the wall a plaque that has a certificate stating what you perceive to be a medical certificate for excellence towards in the field, and a medal strewn near it. As you explore the humbleness of your abode, you start feeling an eerie sensation. It starts off small at first, a twinkle in the back of your mind, as it grows bigger and bigger, more prevalent. Then you start noticing that the paintings on the wall of people you've met, people you've cared for, people you know, their faces begin to meld and twist into a familiar face. They start male silhouettes become more feminine as you begin to recognize Armina starts taking in all semblance of photographs or paintings in your home. She smiles at you. A devious laugh comes out. Slowly, a hand reaches out from each painting. You are surrounded as eventually what appears to be multiple distorted forms of Armina surround you. You feel their touch of her sharp fingernails kind of dig into your shoulder blades. They laugh. They start laughing at you, repeating similar childish insults such as pathetic, useless, disgusting, a failure. It repeats over and over, getting more louder and more unbearable. Its quiet whispers end up turning into screams. And eventually, you wake up. And now, Esther. Esther, for yours, I would like you to make an additional roll for me, please.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to roll. I want you to roll composure and wits again, please. Composure and resolve again, please. Okay.
3 successes.
3 successes, but with a -1 in there due to rolling a 1. Okay. Just reading my document. 1 moment. Okay. 1 second, I need a drink. Your eyes perceive a distorted vestige. You're inside, again, a familiar place. The padded cell that you were kept in for so long. It is distorted, unnatural, wavering. You feel claustrophobic as it seems a lot smaller than it once was. You'd say, at a basic guess estimate, about half the size it used to be. You are still tied up in a straitjacket. It is there's a lot of noise, commotion, but it doesn't seem to be coming from the room. It comes more from perceived voices within your mind itself. You speak, but it only comes out in disjointed kind of stammers as you're trying to piece as your mind is racing so quickly that you can't project the words as clearly as you would normally do so. A familiar voice can be heard over what appears to be a tannoy system. Esther, I've noticed you've had visitors in here. You do understand that you are not supposed to have visitors, are you not?
I know.
Why did you allow visitors?
I didn't welcome them in.
But alas, they are here, and you have ruined so much progress we made.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
You know I am. You know I am, sir.
I'm not sure you are. What does it matter? You have ruined what progress you made. The tannoy system cuts out, and so shortly after the door opens, the blinding light behind him projects his silhouette outwards as his face becomes unperceivable, but you recognise his silhouette anywhere. You do understand what now I have to do to you.
She just shrinks further into the wall.
He starts stepping forwards, the light never brushing his face, leaving his face clad in darkness. You do understand it only makes it worse when you don't respond to me.
She just closes her eyes and looks away, just trying to shrink and make herself as small as possible.
After a brief delay, you feel a force go around your neck, and you start being lifted up off the floor. We're going to have to discipline you now, because if you keep letting people in here, then I'm going to have to start doing this all over again. He starts. It feels like your throat is being crushed slowly, but shortly after that, after an intense amount of pain, you wake up.
Once she wakes up, she just checks the usual spots on her neck, if she feels anything, or if it was all just in her head.
There is no new scars or bruises as far as from what you can feel from nothing that wasn't already there before.
She's just shaking and brings her knees up and wraps her arms around her knees and just sobs.
Okay. Would everyone like to recover a 1 point of superficial and or aggravated damage if you have any left over? Okay. And also add 1 point of hunger to your hunger, except for Esther, who actually ate. Okay. Excuse me.
Cool.
Can I just go on a 2-minute break? I just need to reorientate myself, if that's all right, for something, if that's okay?
Yep. That's all good.
So I'm just going to
No problem.
because none of you are in the same building, I'm just going to put the break screen on stream for it. So if your mics will be off for just a moment. Okay.
Yep.
Back
Good.
in just a second. And we're back. Sorry for the brief delay, but we are ready to continue. You all wake up to a new day. You're obviously feeling a lot after you've all experienced a bit of a traumatic dream, all for different reasons. Let us begin with... I think we'll begin with Charlie first. So, Charles, you wake up in your... I'm guessing you slept on the floor, really, because your furniture hasn't been placed up, has it? So...
Yeah, he wasn't in a fit state to do anything, so he's probably looking a little bit disheveled. So he's going to get up. He's going to make himself look as presentable as he possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to grab his manuscript.
Yep.
And any second thoughts he was having about maybe it's too early, maybe I can wait a bit longer, maybe it needs a bit more polishing. No, he's just going to take it straight to Ernest, because now he is literally, he's in this mindset of, I'm probably going to die soon. I will not let it be for nothing.
Okay. So we will continue with you, because I feel like the interaction the other two are it's going to take a little bit of time. So we'll go with your bit first. Sound good?
Okay.
Are you planning on taking a cab? How are you planning on getting there? Sprinting, walking?
No, I'm not going to be sprinting, because it's going to be like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So he's not going to be.
It's still winter, so
like...
you'd be closer to. It'd be about, if you're leaving immediately, you'd be at 6:30 but when you leave.
Okay, yeah. I'll probably be getting a cab there.
Okay, so hailed down a taxi. You say to your institute, and I actually don't remember what's the name of your institute. Sorry.
The Psychoanalytical Society.
Cool. He tells you to go there. He just looks at you like, what?
I give directions.
And you guide him to the institute. It seems to be a bit of buzz. There's definitely people still going in. It looks like it's still in the full motion of everything. You pay the taxi his due, and he drives off as soon as you exit.
I'm going to be heading straight towards the reception area.
It's like, a familiar receptionist is there. Ah, Mr. Morgan, how may I be of help this evening?
It's a pleasure to see you. Is Ernest Jones about? I need to. I have Dr. Ernest Jones, obviously. I need to speak to him something that I need to hand over.
Okay, let me just check my book real quick.
Of course.
He doesn't appear to have left the building, so I imagine he's still in his office.
Oh, excellent. I'll make my way in there now. Thank you once again.
Not to worry, Mr. Morgan. It's nice to see you again. It's been a while.
It has. Hopefully I'll be able to do a bit more work soon. I think I may need to do something. I've been a little bit remiss, but hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me in the future. And I'll just hold crossing my fingers with that one.
I hope so too, Mr. Morgan. I hope you have a pleasant evening.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. You guide your way through the familiar facility, clad in just the most stereotypically scientific labware, glass walls revealing into rooms with doctorates, some obviously privatized just due to space. The clinical floor tiles polished beyond reflective capability. It's been very well looked after in your absence. You approach the stairwell and make your way up to the floor that you worked on. You kind of guide yourself through all the shifting corridor. You notice your office as you left it, and next to you is Mr. Jones's office.
I knock on the door.
Enter.
Ernest, it's been too long.
Sorry. Charlie. He gets up and walks up to you and kind of just gives you a bit of a nice hug.
Oh yeah, I accept it.
And taps you on the back, the whole thing. Ooh, you're quite cold this evening. Are you okay?
There's been a rough few nights. I've recently moved into a new property. The place is absolutely, it needs a lot of work. Maybe I'll just come down with something, but that's neither here nor there.
Just be sure you stay clear of the patients if you're feeling unwell. We don't want you passing stuff on. You know.
Oh, don't worry. You know that I'm more than capable of making sure that I uphold the levels of sanitariness that we need in this place. But that's not why I've come to talk. I have it here with me, and I'm going to put the manuscript onto the desk. It's not finished yet, but I said that I would be handing it over to you if I felt that it would need a review, and if I thought the information would actually benefit the society in any way, shape, or form. And I'll just slide it, then I'll just leave it there.
He looks at the impressive amount of work that you've placed on his team. It's like, he just gives a bit of a humorous giggle. I was intending on going home shortly. You do realise that.
I'm not expecting you to read it right now, obviously.
What does it matter? I'm not exactly going home to anyone, am I? So,
Ernest, you know that I'm not even going to start. We've already been through this conversation many times.
I know it was my fault. We know this. I've moved past it. It's just I've all I got was my work, and well, it's been what? I haven't seen you in forever. Have you?
I know it's been difficult. I've had to move into a new place. I've been doing. You're probably going to tell me off for this, but I've been doing some more pro bono work.
You can't look, Charles. You are worth so much more that you shouldn't be doing pro bono work. Seriously, you helped build this foundation to what it was. Why are you doing work for free? You could be earning so much more money right now if you just showed up.
Ernest, you understand what I'm like, and I do intend to turn up a lot more in future. But there's also some other aspects of my life which have spiraled out of control. There's I can't go into details, but there's a woman in my life now, and she's very demanding.
He just raises an eyebrow. It's like, how could I have been so silly? Of course, you've met someone. All you used to do was work, and then just all of a sudden, whoop, gone. Are you dating one of your patients?
I would never be dating one of my current patients. I have more. My words are failing me this evening. I apologise. I have more standards than that, as you well know. But there lies in the rub.
Of course, you can only ever seem to focus on one thing. It's either work or an individual, and of course, it is a woman that has torn you away from other priorities. You know what? I'm not going to get angry at you. We've done that enough in our past. Just you need to get that balance better. You know.
I understand that more than you would know right now. I am desperately trying to reprioritize things. It's been a weird few times. I apologize for all of this. I did actually come in not that long ago asking if there was any work available, but hardly anyone was here at the time. Also, I may need to switch my hours to be more at night, if that is at all possible.
Look, Charles, I have pulled every favour I can, and the only reason it's worked is because of the amount of work you have done for this institute. I can only do so much. You need to be at least be earning your favour here again if you're going to continue for me to pull strings for you. As much as I would love to, because you're my friend, we have been friends for a very, very long time. You know that. But I need you to start pulling your weight here, or I can't pull these favours anymore.
I completely understand, and I would not expect you to be perfectly honest. But with the request to do the night shift, it's less of a request, more of a requirement of me right now. Things have been very, very strange, and I seem to be only able to do my best work at night now. It's very odd.
She's messed with your sleep schedule that much, has she?
Charlie was about to say something, then he figured out he was going through his mind about all the things that happened because of her, and it's like, you know what? That is probably the fairest assessment. I've actually heard of the situation. Yes, that is a fair statement.
Okay. I'll tinker with the rota to get you into some night shifts. But you're going to have to show up for them.
That is absolutely fine. I will. I'll make sure that everything is organized. I'm sorry, I should have asked beforehand. Also, this move into my new place has been quite taxing as well. But if I will be able to, do you have rota room tonight?
Sorry, can you say that again, please? Sorry.
Do you have room in the rota for me tonight? I'd be happy to help.
Given that you're still on holiday leave due to your sudden disappearance, I can't really say I can slot you in as we're already overstaffed this evening.
Ah, fair enough.
Why don't you finish getting your new place sorted out? You.
Thank you.
So, relax. I will send you a letter, or I'll just pop by whenever, and I'll give you whatever new hours I can sort you out with.
Thank you. And may I entrust this to you? I'm just going to gesture towards my manuscript.
I will assess it over the next few hours. I will let you know if I find anything wrong with it.
Excellent. I expect you to be brutally honest and possibly as critical as you normally have been.
If I wasn't, I'd be dying.
It has been too long, Ernest. We really need to catch up and possibly take in a night in the town as well. But that's neither here nor there.
We should. It's been too long without you here. It's been rather dry, to say the least.
In which case, I'll see what I can do about making things a little bit more interesting around this place.
Good. And take care of yourself, okay?
Oh, I certainly will. You do the same as well.
I always do, you know that.
Right then, I best be going. You are a very busy man with a great deal of many things to do.
Yeah, I've got to review your paper. I'll let you know what I think.
Certainly. Make sure you get yourself a cup of tea, or at least not some tea, then at least a bottle of whiskey.
He pulls out one from under his desk. You know I always keep one to hand.
Man after my own heart. Anyway, I shall be leaving. I shall leave you to it. And I will leave his office.
Fair tidings to you.
You too as well, my friend.
Do you have any intentions of what you want to do after that, or?
Well, with Amina's words still ringing in my ears, I'm going to be spending every single waking hour during the night time getting this place sorted out to be equal to what I saw in my dream.
Okay. I'll let you work on that then.
Yeah.
Okay, so... you're going to get home with no issue. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, let's go to... I think we'll go to Diego first. Excuse me. So, Diego, you wake up after your dream. Do you have any initial reactions or things you want to do?
Probably go check everything.
Okay.
Including Quincy. Probably check the place and check on Quincy.
Okay, you look around the flat. It looks completely untouched. It's pretty much exactly how you left it last night. You go into Quincy's room, and he looks like he's in that half awake, half asleep state.
I will say Diego would likely look a little bit panicked, but will relax at the sight of Quincy still being there.
Okay. So, you okay?
Yeah, sorry. Just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Felt like I've healed a lot last night. I can feel my toes again.
Good.
Uh,
I'm gonna be going out. I will take you with me, but
I'm not going anywhere. I'll guard the place with my undead life.
just make sure you don't die again.
Again, I make 0 promises.
Well, hopefully things will be okay, and I'll be back soon.
Look, you're clearly better at taking care of yourself than I'm taking care of myself. I'm just gonna rest, and whatever the hell. I don't. I'm just gonna stay here. You do.
You sleep.
You do you. Sleep is for the weak.
You've been doing it for hours.
That's not in my choice, and you know it.
I'm pretty sure if it was your choice, you would anyway.
You scorn me so.
Learn from the best, I see.
You know, I'd punch you in the face right now if I could walk.
No,
I'm going to hit you when I can. You do realize this.
we'll see.
Alright, then piss off. I'm going back to sleep.
Good night.
Yeah. He just pulls the blanket over his head.
He'll leave. Dev's character said she'd meet me here, correct?
I think you said you'd pick her up. Steph, was that correct?
Yes, I believe so, but
You're not in
she
your home
unfortunately-
right now.
she's not at home right now. But maybe her landlady saw someone come and collect Damien in a bag. So maybe there's that. But unfortunately, last night's events, she forgot to inform Diego. I'm sorry.
It's more of a case it's like since I don't know where you live, it was you that was coming to mine, if I recall.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, with that in mind, when we get to my scene, she'll probably then give you a call to let you know that things have slightly
I
changed.
don't have a phone.
He can't afford a phone. Let me just work this out rationally. So, Diego said you would pick her up. So logically speaking, because you've never been to her flat before, she would have told you where you lived. We'll just say you did that.
Yeah.
But you didn't role play it out.
Yes.
Just to avoid confusion, because that's logically what. Because I doubt you would have gone. I'll pick you up at your place. Yeah, you go do that.
Where is your place? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the natural conversation. Okay, so I'm guessing you go straight to her place, or are you gonna dilly dally first?
I'll probably go straight there.
Okay.
I don't really have much to do.
So what we'll do, you get there, and then to the theatre, and then we'll do Stephanie's waking up scene, and we'll carry on. Cool? Cool. Okay. You go to the address that Esther gave you, and it has the tannoy buzzers on the front of the door. It's a bit more secure than your place, but not exactly a step up. You do see her name listed on the bell ringers.
I shall press.
You push it, and I'm guessing because it's Diego, you basically buzz, 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 buzz.
Yes. How annoying can I be?
1 second.
Temptation to press all of them at once.
Based on the time period and knowing what Diego is like, You buzz to the rhythm of the song Nothing I Can Do. If anyone knows what that song is in the chat, well done. That's a reference for you. And eventually, after you probably knock a few of the other buttons by accident, because you're compulsive in your behavior, you eventually see a petite older woman come out from the door. Can I help you, sir?
I've come to pick up a friend.
She just rubs her face with her palm of her hand. It's like, if the buzzing is not, if she's not answering the buzz, then there's no one in.
Pick her up here. So,
Sorry,
any idea?
who is it you're looking for?
It was Esther.
Her expression lightens up a bit. Oh, you're one of her friends, are you? It's weird. I had to let someone in the other day, last night. They said that Esther requested some stuff to be brought out. The guy seemed like he was tall, dark, and just, I don't know why, just I let him in. He seemed incredibly trustworthy. She starts mumbling to herself. Sorry,
Do I recognize the description?
she's gonna get if you ask her to describe it, she goes into full detail and you do recognise it as Mr. Carter.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. I already know. Goodbye.
She just
Move
looks at you
leaves.
confused. And you just probably hear her mumble like, "What was that?" Okay. So you're heading to the theatre. We'll go to Stefan. We'll go to Esther waking up. Esther.
Yeah.
You are awake from your slumber. You are currently on this rather comfy bed, crying in a ball with your arms wrapped around your legs.
She's just holding herself tightly, and she brings up her hand to her face and she starts biting at her fingernails and at her cuticles.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks down at her hands and some particular marks on them, and she just starts gnawing away at her pinky fingernail and starts tugging at it with her teeth. But then she glances away and she catches the eye of Damien, who's probably looking at her a little bit concerned.
He's like, kind of noise that dogs make when they're concerned.
She manages to stop herself and she quickly runs her tongue across the parts that she's been biting at to try and heal it up, and then she sits on that particular left hand, stop herself, and then she reaches out her right hand to pat Damien on the head until she kind of settles herself again.
He just rubs his head against your palm.
And she does that for a few minutes while she just kind of like steadies herself after being so close to that individual again and all the mixed feelings that come with it. But then after a few minutes, she'll get changed, freshen up with what facilities there are in the safe rooms.
It's fully kitted out. Shower, small shower bath, sink, changing room, desk with a mirror in front, the whole shebang.
Okay. She will do that. She'll get changed into one of her other shirts, one of the button-down men's shirts, spray some scent around on the cuffs. Her coat, she's a little bit distracted, so it's a little bit more disheveled than usual. But as she heads out, she'll actually because she was going to speak to Oscar today, she will actually bring Damien on his leash,
Okay.
and she will go over to. She will start head towards where Oscar is, but she when she gets close to his door, she'll actually maybe tie up Damien's leash maybe a good distance away, just to kind of gauge if he's comfortable
Okay.
with dogs, or whether or to send Damien back to the room.
Okay. Before you're able to leave your room,
Hmm.
well, actually, as you leave, you
Yeah.
see Mr. Carter there with his hand like raised in a fist. He looks like he was just about to knock. Oh, I'm not disturbing you, am I, madam?
No. What is it?
You just when we was just doing our rounds in the evening, there seemed to be a lot of distressing noises coming from your room. I just wanted to make sure that everything was safe.
Of course, of course. If I may ask, were there any noises in particular?
There was. It sounded like there was talking. It didn't sound exactly amicable chit chat. I couldn't hear a second voice, and I heard all kinds of. He just pauses for a moment. He's trying to find. He looks like his head is exploring for the word. It sounded like you wasn't exactly taking care of yourself. I have very sensitive hearing. I apologize if I was being invasive.
I understand, but as you can see, she just looks down at Damien and then back at Mr. Carter. The two of us are perfectly fine. This is none of your concern.
I guess I was over paranoid that somehow someone got in. My apologies, madam.
It's quite all right.
Before you, sorry, he interrupts.
Yes.
He interrupts. Before you leave, I would have to request that you give the master key back to me.
Oh no, of course. She'll go over to bedside table where the key was and hand it back to him.
He takes out his key ring, and he's got like 40 keys on this ring, and he hands one of them to you. That's the key to that particular safe room. If you still don't feel safe going back home, Mr. Ostral has at least offered temporary residence in that room for the time being.
That is most generous of him. I thought this was only for one evening.
We had a discussion, and it seemed to prove pertinent that if you have been targeted, we don't believe that it would be safe to return to your abode at this current time. It is not exactly well fortified.
She nods and kind of grimaces at that. With that, I can very much agree with you on that. I'll expedite trying to make arrangements to move to a more secure location soon. So I think for now it'd probably be best if I stayed here.
Understandable. I hope you enjoy your stay with us, and I apologize for being invasive. He gives you a polite bow, and he leaves before you're able to really give her a response.
She just nods in return, and she is wearing her gloves, as always, and she just kind of like rings at her fingertips and picks at them a little bit.
Okay, so you're going to pop into seeing Oscar.
Yep. Again, she'll just keep Damien at a distance tied up just to kind of gauge how comfortable he is, and if he's uncomfortable, then she'll escort Damien back to the room.
Okay. You climb up the flight of stairs. It doesn't seem to be very busy at the moment. Maybe the occasional person walk past you, but you get to Oscar's door. Do you knock?
Yep. She knocks on the door.
Okay. You hear a very timid "Hello?"
Oscar, it's me, Esther.
There's a bit of what sounds like a tumble inside, And then quickly the door shortly opens very slightly to reveal his blind eye. Hi.
Hi, is this a bad time? I can come back later.
No, that now's fine.
Well, I wanted to see how you were doing.
A little better than yesterday, I guess. The doctor was very nice.
Well, that's good, Good then. I came by because I wanted to tell you that I'm actually going to be staying at the theater for a little bit. So we'll almost be like neighbors for a while.
Huh. That's nice. That's really nice. The doctor said I probably should be, like, at least talking to other vampires more. They said it'd be good for my... I've forgotten the word now. When you... integration, that's it. Good for my integration, if she said.
Well, that's good then. And also, it's not just me who's going to be staying here for a bit. And she scoots aside and gestures over to Damien. I wasn't sure how comfortable you felt with dogs, but I thought maybe you'd like to meet him. He's very gentle.
He looks a little apprehensive, but he slowly reaches his hand out.
Okay, she'll go over and she'll then bring Damien with like one hand with the leash wrapped around it and the other hand like on his collar to kind of steadying him so he doesn't get too overexcited. Mm-hmm. And she'll sit down on the ground with beside Damien just so he feels a bit more relaxed.
He doesn't really stroke him as more, just very light, gentle taps on his head. He seems nice.
He's really nice. He usually stays in my apartment, but Mr. Carter permitted me to move him here for the time being while I'm staying here.
I see. Is everything okay? Is your flat not nice at the moment?
It's the neighbors are getting a little bit too loud for my liking, so they thought it was a good idea that I stay somewhere that's a bit safer for the time being.
Okay. I can imagine having noisy neighbors would be not conducive.
And I can't really get much of my creative work done when I've got noisy neighbors at all hours of the evening.
I can imagine. I hope you're more comfortable here.
Yes, I'm not quite sure how long I'll be staying. There's some stuff I need to look into. But I thought I should let you know that if you want to, you can come by and visit Damien. He's very nice. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know what was happening. I think Diego should be coming by later this evening as well.
Diego's nice. It feels safe around him.
She just smiles and she flashes back a little bit to Diego's driving skills. Yes, safe is a lovely choice of words.
When do you think he'll be here?
I am not actually sure. I should have probably told him that I was staying here. I'm sure he'll figure it out and he should be here maybe in a few hours.
Okay.
But you just take it easy this morning. I can take Damien back to my room now, if you want.
Please. I don't know if Snuffles likes dogs, really, so I don't want to scare her.
I know, that's why I didn't want to bring him towards you unless you felt comfortable with him.
He does seem nice, though.
Well, that's good. I'll take him back to my room, and then I'll let you know if Diego comes along.
Thank you.
She gives him a smile and lets him go back to his room.
He closes the door.
And she'll go back to her room and make sure that Damien's all settled, and then she'll maybe just go back to what she was doing before with her sketchbook and just keep working on that in the meantime and thinking, I should really arrange for Diego to get a phone set up.
After probably about an hour at this point, Diego, you arrive at the theatre.
Cool. I don't know where Steph is staying, so assuming I don't see her around, I'll head towards Oscar's room.
Okay. Esther, are you making yourself public in this place, or are you just sticking in the safe room?
If there isn't anyone that's in like the main theater area that's like a paying patron or anything, she'd actually probably be sitting on the stage with like kind of kicking her legs back and forth a bit off the edge of the stage.
It is a closed night, so there would be no patrons other than just a few members of staff milling about the place.
Yep, that's probably where she'll be, with like her legs kind of dangling over the orchestra pit.
Okay. So as you walk in, Diego, you would see her there.
This is where the mysterious lady has been.
Ah, Diego, I'm so terribly sorry that I did not tell you about the rearrangement. It only happened last night.
Ever. As long as you're here.
Yes, and I'm going to be staying here for a little while.
Something wrong?
I'm planning on moving to a much safer apartment soon, and I had an interesting conversation with a very dangerous kindred last night. So the prince offered me to stay here for a while, since it seems that I was being targeted. She has a kind of grimace smile on her face. But I'm fine now.
Well, at least you're fine. If you need me to help you, I can maybe lend you a weapon. Maybe.
You know what? I actually would like to get a bit more familiar with knives. That would probably be good for me.
I'm willing to teach.
And I would greatly appreciate that.
Have a nice night. And he starts heading towards Oscar's room.
Do you follow?
Yeah, Esther will follow.
Okay. You make your way up. And... Sorry, I need to check a reference doc. 1 second.
No problem.
Where is it? Good timing. But, as you start climbing up, reach the top of the stairs, and see around the corridor, you spot a familiar face leaving Oscar's room.
Who is it?
It is Francois. Oh, if it isn't, she kind of looks like she would be gulping, and she's kind of pulling on her collar a little bit. Lady Desmond. This is not me stammering your name. It's actually what she's saying.
Desmarais.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is there something on? Is everything all right?
No. Everything's fine. There's not an issue at all. I'm not interrupting you, am I? I hope I'm not interrupting you. I should go.
Don't go running off just yet. Is everything all right with our friend?
Oh, Oscar? No, absolutely fine. No issue whatsoever.
She just narrows her eyes. Have I done something to upset you, madam?
Oh no! How silly! We've never met. Of course not. That'd be preposterous. No, we've never met. How could you have upset me? You only ever bumped into me once, and that was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. No. It's not my fault.
Can I insight what is wrong with her? Why is she so scared?
Make an insight roll for me. I'm gonna say use wits.
2 successes, but one was a crit fail.
You have the very strong suspicion that she is lying.
Well, madam, I won't bother you any further, but I'm actually going to be staying in a relative proximity for quite a few evenings, so I'm sure that we would be able to find the time to have a lengthier conversation.
She just breaks eye contact, and she just goes, "Oh, I'm sure that would be great. No, that wouldn't be an issue at all. No. I've got a lot of things I need to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be so rude, but I have to leave." She just spins round and bolts in the opposite direction to you.
Esther just watches her like scurry away with her eyebrows raised, and then looks at Diego. I don't know. I really do not recall what I did that would cause her to be that scared of me. But I look forward to finding out.
He's probably smiling at amusement at you both before just heading towards the door. I'll knock on Oscar's door.
After a brief delay, the door opens. Oh, Diego. Hi.
To sound so surprised. You alright?
Yeah, just had a long talk with the doctor. She's nice. He looks like he's trying to say something, but after like 30 seconds of not committing, he's like, "I'm fine."
You to leave?
No, just tough conversation that I have to have with the doctor.
You like a hug?
It looks. He raises his head, his little blind eye. You can see the faded iris twitching a little bit, and he just nods.
He'll just open his arms up and offer a hug and let him come to him.
He opens the door very delicately. He looks to be in a bit of a sadder state. His hair is a mess. Some of his clothes are damaged. He seems to have a. If you look at his left arm, there seems to be a large scratch wound going from his dress blazer, and you can see a little bit of blood trickling out.
I'll just gently hug him and won't mention it.
He's very delicate when he's trying to hug you back. You just hear a mumbled whisper. "Thank you."
Do you want to get ready and we can head off? Or do you want to stay here?
He just looks up. "Get ready? Do I need to do something today?"
I thought it would be nice if we could go see my friend.
Oh, so this is not like a doctor's thing?
Mm-mm. Not at all.
He looks around and goes, "Can I bring Snuffles?"
It's allowed to bring Snuffles. I'm sure my friend would love him. Her. Sorry. Rough night.
He smiles and goes, "Can I just have a few minutes to clean up?"
At all. Take your time.
He lets go of you and closes the door behind him.
I'll just wait outside.
You two don't say anything at all, or you're just going to be quiet?
I'm
a-
going to be quiet unless I'm asked.
as Oscar's just taking care of things with the door closed, Esther will just quietly say to Diego, "While I'm going to be staying here, I'll do my best to keep an eye out on him, make sure he's doing okay."
I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking 1 second.
It's all good.
I'm just thinking because we're almost at 10 o'clock and
Do you want to call it
you
up?
want to take into another scene, which will probably go on for a little bit. I think now's probably the best time to end it without going yet. Because if we go into the next scene, we're probably going to go very much over time.
Yep, that's all good.
So I think
That's fine.
we'll cut it there for now. So thank you all for joining us this evening. It is very much appreciated. Thank you to the players for joining in. Talon's AFK'd right now, so I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, you're back. There you go. There you go. Thank you all for playing with us tonight. It's been great. Bit more. Well, I say mostly relaxed. Two of you, only all of you had psychotic meltdowns at times. I will reward everyone. It's going to be a tertiary 2 experience this time, just because it's more of a heavy RP session without much prop progression, I feel. So 2 XP for this. Excuse me.
Okay.
Does anyone have any issues with the 24th, so 2 weeks from now, being a game day? No conflicting schedules or anything?
Nope,
Not that I
sounds
can
good.
see.
Cool. And we'll softball for another 2 weeks. Thank you all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Well, thank you to all the new followers, and thank you to everyone who took part in the chat. Sorry for the new ones here. Sorry I wasn't super responsive to chat. It's a bit difficult to do all this at once and maintain the group. But thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in about 2 weeks. Thank you very much, and goodbye.